The Nigerian tech community is currently buzzing with excitement, and it is for a good reason. Two young Nigerians, Nathan Nwachukwu, 22-year-old, and Maxwell Maduka, 24-year-old, just raised $11.75 million for their defense tech startup, a hardware-heavy, capital-intensive core manufacturing startup, Terra Industries. Since the announcement, tech communities have been abuzz. Investors are wondering how they missed the opportunity, while deep tech enthusiasts feel validated. But the most critical conversation we must have beyond the capital is why the round was led by 8VC, backed by other US giants, with no visible local investor participation. For too long, the narrative of innovation in Nigeria has lived in PowerPoint presentations and code snippets, forgetting that the problems facing our continent are physical: insecurity, energy deficits, logistics, and crumbling infrastructure. These can only be solved through deep tech innovations, grounded in scientific and engineering research that require patient capital and long-term investors who understand that while the R&D cycle is long, the unique advantage presented by successful hardware play is nearly impenetrable. To those wishing they had participated, stop wishing and start scouting. There are many more Terahaptics currently tinkering in hubs from Ilorin to Abuja. But to find them, we need to look beyond just software and start looking at real innovation built on deep research and tangible technology. We need to prioritize investments that build manufacturing plants, create high-skilled engineering jobs, and produce physical goods. Nathan and Max have done more than just raise money. They have validated a model most local investors are wary of, and they have given hope to the innovators in the African deep tech space. They are now the poster children for African deep tech, but they cannot be the only ones. We need their evangelism, but more importantly, we need our local investors to provide the fuel for the next generation of builders. The future is hard. Will you be a part of it, or will you be watching from the sidelines again?
The question you asked, which jumps at me in your monologue, was when you said the most critical conversation we must have beyond the capital is why the round was led by 8 VCs, backed by other US giants, and no visible local investment participation. You know the reason why.
We don't have money.
Look, the Nigerian investor doesn't believe in Nigeria. That's
Except Alaji.
yes. They don't necessarily believe in Nigeria. And in Nigerians, I'm happy for these two young guys. But you see, there are loads of young men like this in places all around this nation. In the same Makoko, for instance, that they are demolishing, all right, that have ideas, they're bursting with ideas, all right, that have no forms of support. No, they don't even need to raise $11 million. Some of them, all they need is $50,000. They are fine with it. But the Nigerian investor, all right, who is probably holding, shares in some of all these finance services sector, they will come after me anyway. They know themselves. They will rather invest in certain, fintechs and all that, and neglect these guys. We need to shape up. There are a lot of all these kids all over the place. I speak, I speak about this passionately because I've experienced it. Especially with my daughter. I mean, you had a situation where you had a 14-year-old girl by herself, worked on, coded, wrote the codes, and designed an app. Okay, put it on iPhones, whatever, and all that, and it was picked up by some tech hubs. And it was amplified and everything. I personally, okay, because she had this tech thing that she had to do at Yale. And Yale University said to her that, look, you need the support of your local institutions. So Yale themselves provided the template to write to Nigerian institutions. I was the one that prepared the letters to all the Nigerian major banks.
Did they respond?
Only one did. And I'll mention their name, Keystone Bank. They gave her $10,000.
Thank you. See, our youths are making us proud. Let's clap for them in the first place. Trust me.
We, the youth.
If I hear.
I am currently identifying as a youth.
And part of this Yinka's daughter, God bless her wherever she is. Amen. God bless her and all our children.
Amen.
You see, beyond innovation and programming, we need productions and manufacturing. One day, I sat in the car and I checked all the markets in Lagos, around Lagos. And the only thing I could see is trading, selling, trading, selling, trading, selling. China is not just selling, they are producing. They are manufacturing. When are we going to get to that level? I tell you, I was having a conversation with a guy about investment in 2026. I was trying to draw graph and see where you can put some small change, you know. And this guy spoke to me about sound and lights, and he told me that in December alone, at his own level, small level, that he gave the investor, the person who gave him the whatever, 15M in 3 weeks. Entertainment is bigger than what you can think. But guess what? We have other intellectual properties, other areas that are bigger. I mentioned mining the other time, agric the other time, because the way they are changing and shaping the culture of our children is dangerous. If we don't train them, teach them capacity building, they will become lazy in future, according to late President Muhammadu Buhari. God bless them.
As an add-on to what you said, it is what we incentivize that the younger people embrace. So if we keep incentivizing the things that don't align with our values, that is what the younger generation are going to consider normal, embrace. Thank you.
I like what you wrote here. For too long, the narrative of innovation in Nigeria has lived in PowerPoints. It's a very powerful statement to make because PowerPoint presentations, because it captures what we do. It looks like you were the one who said, Ronke, who said we're just performing. We perform these things just so people know that we know. But, you know, taking it further, that's where the problem is. And Zuma, you talked about the next generation of builders. How would we do that when these same budgets, I come back to you, Yinka, this same budget does not even recognize creativity and innovation. You will never see them say, oh, this year we want to aspire to go to the moon, you know, to have this in the orbit or to have that in the orbit or to support this kind of research in the universities. I don't understand. So then, we need our local investors to provide the fuel for the next generation of builders. I'm quoting you, Zuma. And that's exactly what we need. We need to stop wishing and start doing.
I'm so proud of those boys. I went online and I checked them and I was so excited. I shared with the young people in my circle of influence. And I'm so proud of them. And I'm asking that how many blogs made noise about it?
No, when they are not whiskey.
You know, how much noise did we hear about something like this so that it can inspire other people?
How many Ministry of Tech, Science and Technology, Education invited them?
To do anything.
Yes.
You see, we are not rooted and we don't take pride in our own generally. And we must. It's still this post-colonial issue that we struggle with as Nigerians. Everything has to be foreign. When these people have foreign investors, it validates and then they start running and trying to be. But why must it be a foreigner first? It's still this our mentality, this our colonized minds. I looked at their videos, I saw their factory, I saw the drones. I couldn't believe it. Here, inside this Nigeria, there's hope. You know, I was so elevated in my spirit. I was so excited. I mean,
and there are many of them.
There are so many. I know Very Dark Man the other day, he was trying to support a boy that was also creating one or two things, trying to support. But we need more people. You said $50,000. Some people don't even need $50,000. I'm telling you that 500K gone. Let's not even, in Naira. And they will start making a difference in terms of manufacturing. These are so many things that we can do in our society. But we are not allowing our minds to do these things for us. We are stuck on religion. We are stuck on things that don't matter. Entertainment, as Uncle Benga said, you know, things. Let us take pride in being Nigerian, being African, our own things. Let us validate ourselves internally. That's why I like Judy. He keeps saying it. Let us make the noise, and then they will hear us and then pay attention. Stop going outside to seek validation from other people. Yeah. So I'll end there.
When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. As our parents once challenged us, those who are coming out on top don't have two heads, do they?
Two heads, Zuma. Some of us are scoring own goals with our one head and two legs. Oh, we better beware, or it will soon be game over like Morocco and Senegal.